Hi, everybody. Just I know I've been busy lately, you guys. Hi, how you been? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Happy holiday. Yo, welcome to Let's Talk with Miss Fee. My name is Felicia. I am your host, aka Miss Fee. Okay, I'm your host. Y'all come here. We're talking. We're talking something here today. We're talking something. Y'all let it hear? Do y'all like my hair? Hmm? Yeah, like my hair. We're doing this. Poof, poof. You're not laughing. Got a hairstyle ain't not easy. It's not for children. But anyways, you're welcome to Let's Talk with Miss P. My name is Misha. Hi guys. I know I'm super late, but yeah, sorry. Sorry that I'm late. At least I made it. I made it to the party, right? How your week been? You know, the hair, I like it because it'll make me have my head twisted and turn this way, turn that way. But I like it though. Yeah, hello. So now we're talking about irreconcilable differences. Let me put this in the chat and see if the person I recommended this topic is gonna join me tonight. She's busy. What a busy day. I think we kind of talked about this. We talked about this topic in the past. I believe we did, but I don't think it was in depth like how I feel this one is about. So, sorry guys. Um, what? Yeah, sorry. I just got a message that's kind of weird. I'm reading, but I think we had this discussion before. We talked about this topic from a different angle, not like the way I think this one is going. This is a very controversial topic. We all know that modern women, men and women, whenever most relationship are in and on like irreconcilable differences, and you know, someone had recommended this topic for us to discuss it. I think when we discussed it in the past, it was not from this angle; it was from a different angle. So I thought we should kind of like give it a shot. But it says should married couples with unreconcilable differences stay married for the sake of their children. So I think when we discussed this, if I'm not mistaken, the topic was probably should you stay together for the sake of the kids? And it wasn't a specific issue tied to it. But from this angle, it's saying like it's clearly stating there's an issue and should we stay together with these issues because we have children? I think that's the end goal that this one is going. And I think it's worth talking about it. So, with that being said, welcome to Let's Talk with Miss Fee. My name is Felicia. I am your host. Super excited to be here. Don't mind me and my poofy hair. I just kind of like did it, so I haven't done it the way I want to do it. Hopefully, tomorrow when I come up, it'll be all nicely curved and set up and really cool. But I haven't done this side in such a long time, and I was like, yeah, let's punk it out. But anyways, um, should married couples stay together even though they know they've reached to that end of the tunnel? Marriage is hard. Relationship in general is hard. I think your first relationship you will ever have to deal with argument or anything is your siblings, right? There's this sibling rivals. There's somebody's trying to prove that they're older, and someone's trying to prove, no, well, I know this and you know this. So your first real relationship issues is with your siblings. I feel like if you are able to resolve those issues appropriately with your sibling and you learn those hard life lessons through it, even though it's relationship is hard, I feel like you get it. You understand what it takes to be in a relationship, let alone a family ship, right? So let's look at a relationship that is having issue. It's staying actually protecting your children. Like you shouldn't be together. There's a lot of things going on with you guys, and you're not seeing eye to eye. You're not happy. So let me give you guys an example of a relationship that I recently read. Um, I don't really watch the show, but I know of the show, and I know um some of the people that are online and stuff like that. So I came across a post about Candy Burst. And if you don't know her, she's a musician, a songwriter, and a musician as well. And she was on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't really follow the show, but I have watched some of it before. And to me, in my opinion, she's probably one of the most level headed people on that show. Well, the episode I watched. But recently they came out, actually last night. I don't know what I was doing, but I was watching some clips and stuff, and I came across a post that said she and her husband was going through, a divorce. And I haven't read what the cost of divorce is, but I can only guess and imagine it is unreconcilable differences. There's some gossip and things going on. I don't know, allegedly, that he's been cheating and all of that. They have children, and Candy filed, yes, Friday, last week, Friday, it's after Thanksgiving. That's wild. Um, but yeah, you can just imagine. I think they were together for about 11 years, and she just put in divorce. So I have been, huh? So we've been together. It's going close to like 9 years. Yeah, it's going close to 9 years. Hey, Jimmy, how you
Hey,
looking tired? So
yes, I am.
you're tired. You look like you just got up from sleep and you're exhausted.
No, I actually just got home a couple minutes
Hey,
ago.
man, my son in America.
Leave me alone.
I'm gonna give you a hard time. My son in America is okay. Go there. God got you. You got this. Jimmy, I just had to give you a hard time. You know that.
You on your own?
He said, on my own.
Mhm.
How you been, man? How was your week? So
Same old.
Anna that brought this topic. She better bring herself here because I think we talked about this topic before, but I like the angle that it's going. So I was like, yeah, let's talk about it.
You know what? I didn't even look at it. The topic.
I know today has been a long, busy day for me too. It says should married couples with unreconcilable differences stay together just for the sake of the children. Yeah. So the hook that I have here is
So,
staying
so,
actually protecting children or teaching them how to survive in silence.
so
Um,
what is the person that suggested the topic?
I don't see her. I sent her the link personally, but she's not here. We're gonna try to tackle it real quick. So hopefully we can get this done in like 30 minutes.
Please. Oh, under.
All under 30 minutes. Jeez. The people might be like, yeah, we're tired with all these days. So no, we just tired. It's the holiday season. So I mean we can get started. So what is unreconcilable differences? I think that's where we need to start with first. So emotional, if we're defining them, I'm gonna put it in my own word. Basically, emotional distance, like different values, lack of communications, betrayal, trauma, resentment, the list go on. To me, or not on the same path of growth, not really seeing eye to eye. You can't really sit and put one and two together. I think Jimmy, before you got on, I was talking about a divorce, a very famous person divorce that I just came across. Hey Richmond, welcome to the show. That I came
Thank you.
across. Her name is Candice Burst, and apparently she's been married for 11 years, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really watch her, but I knew she's a very famous songwriter. She writes for a lot of artists, and I have listened to some of her songs. I watched one of the reality show that she was on. One episode, I think, it's called Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think someone was doing my hair and I was watching it, but I think she was one of the most level-headed person on that show, even though I think they were all really ratchet for my liking. But she was really level-headed. Anyways, fast forward, they've been married for 11 years, and I was just comparing my relationship, and I was like, oh yeah, we've been together, we've been pushing it for a little while now. It's been like wow, almost 9 years now. And I'm like, it's almost the same. I can just imagine the amount of time and effort it takes to nurture a relationship and pass that 5 years hurdle that everybody talk about. It is the worst time of a relationship. You would think it would be when you get older in the relationship. But that first 5 years is definitely a make it or break it. And if you passed it and now you're in 11 years and you're throwing that all out, um, and just realize it took you that long to realize it's unreconcilable differences. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, should you stay for the sake of the children? Hey, Richmond. Hey, Jimmy, what's your thought?
Um, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, very clear.
Yes. So, uh, irreconcilable differences. I are those issues that the two parents cannot agree on. Anything the two people can agree on, it become irreconcilable. And not only agree on it, but one person is not willing to let their side go. You know, it becomes irreconcilable.
Mm.
And in my opinion, that is a definition of incompatibility
Mm.
because irreconcilable, irreconciled differences are are the ground for incompatibility in marriages and in relationship. If these two cannot agree, the best thing to do is to let each other go. Now,
Right.
people being together for the sake of the children, it does not in any way help either of them. In fact, it hurts the children the most. As long as you guys stay together and still fussing over those things, at some point physically fighting, but you are just using the kids as a shield,
True.
you know. So I don't think that married couple with irreconcilable differences should stay together for any reason, not even for the kids, because you are you will be hurting the kids, and these kids will overgrow the both of y'all, and go their separate way. You know, so how old will you be? How old will both of y'all be before y'all move on?
True.
And you want to put that on the children? No, you guys can. The children are one responsibility that the two parents can agree on whether they are together or not. You guys can build a consensus. Okay, I'm the father of these children. I'm still going to show up my responsibility for them. But I think at this point, you know, we should just let it go, and I'll take care of the kids. Whatever you want me to do, or for them. I mean, you'll come to an agreement, or if you will go through the court, which is most of the time women will do, to go to child support and go each other's way. But don't use the children as a shield. It's either because the woman want the relationship, but she don't want, to leave, or the man, you know, it's using the children. I don't want another woman to raise my kids. The woman, I don't want another man, or the man would say, I don't want another man, you know, taking care of my kids. So the kids are just, like I said, shield that people use to stay in.
So basically, you think like they're not truly wanting. They don't. I I guess it's like they don't know their next steps. So instead of them doing that, they're using the children as, you know, well, I don't want this. I don't. So let me just stay here. You think somebody just buying time?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
I feel that because um if it is
I
for the sake
agree.
of if it is for the sake of the children, you know, um let's say if y'all got a newly born baby, say, I will stick around for a little bit, at least so the baby can walk or stuff like that. But then after the baby walk, you still there. The baby start going to school, or I gotta be around to pick him up or to pick her up from school, and all of that. I mean, there's no need for that. Y'all both don't want it. Let it go. Don't use the kids as a shield.
Hmm. That example. Hey, Anna, welcome to the show. We'll let you in real quick. Um, I think that's a very strong example right there because I wouldn't want to leave the relationship. We have a newborn because I would be like, that would be so tough. Let's hear from Anna. Hey, welcome.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you guys?
Good.
I agree with whatever Jimmy said. I think that,
Hmm.
a lot of times people use children as a shield to want to stay in toxic relationships because rather than just trying to work it out, they just use kids as a leverage to try to get what they want. So I definitely think that when you're in a relationship like that, it's very important to communicate and try to co-parent. Co-parenting is not a bad idea. It's healthy for the kids' lives, rather than having children being raised in toxic relationships. So I agree to what he said.
Hmm. So you think like let's just say, okay, I'm gonna use myself for an example, right? So let's say I have a brand new 2 month old child, and I get it sometimes once you have children, that's when life reality really flash in your eyes and you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is really bad. I can't be here.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think in that moment with that newborn because for being a woman, once you have kids, like your hormones are all out of whack. Like there's a lot going on. There's a lot of emotions and things like that. And wouldn't you say like staying in there until that child gets to, or whatever hormones that woman is going through, you don't think that's something to like just hang on and sit there and have a conversation and say, you know what, right now, the main priority is this child. We don't have to be like lovey dovey, but right now, as it is, I just have a 2 month old. I can't really be out there roaming around trying to figure out. We can figure things out outside, but it's different. It's different when you have newborn. So that's
I
the
don't
one
know.
that's
I don't
really
know about
catching me.
that.
You
So
don't think so?
because yeah, because that person can still be in your life and not be helpful with that newborn, and you're still doing everything, and that person is just there giving
That's
you a
true.
headache. Would you rather have that person there to give you a headache than focusing on your work?
Well, I wouldn't, but let's just say, um, things are expensive. If we're going to, let's just say we have a house, and then he said, well, I'm going to pay my child support. Now I'm left with the entire household bill. I know we talk about this in here before where we talked about should we stay together while we're, like not together until I figure myself out. And I was one of those people. I definitely say no, don't stay there. But now I'm sitting and thinking about it with that example that Jimmy just gave. It's a rough one, and especially I know the situation when you just give birth, like how you are as a mom, especially if you have other children as well, like how you're handling that. And then now you have to think about this other emotions, and this individual is not there. If you're in the same house, that individual is not there. I don't think there's no way that person would be sitting there while that child crying and not like want to partake.
You'll
I
be
don't know.
surprised. You'll be surprised.
I guess.
But I could be wrong, but you'll be surprised.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. That's sad though. That is sad. Um, well, let's get to the next talking point. I was trying to share the show, but I like how this is going. I don't think people should stay in a relationship for the sake of the children. I really don't think so. I don't even think the kids want you to even be there. in that type of situation, because you're not really serving the children. You're just trying to make yourself feel better in that moment. So it's
Yeah,
pretty easy. Uh-huh,
and
go ahead.
and 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 fee here is the dilemma.
Mhm.
Some of them will have the first kid and they start having those irreconcilable differences, and they say, oh,
Then,
for my daughter's sake, I will just stay here. And then
yeah.
before you look, they get pregnant again for the second one, and they just keep going, keep going, keep going. So once you know that you and this person are not agreeing on a whole lot of stuff, and that's what I have issue with people who always say, oh, when y'all get married, things will get better. When y'all
Oh
get married,
no.
this person will change. No, marriage does not change people. In fact, it validates people's behavior, you know,
Mm.
because now that you guys are legally bound together, you know, it it it, it gives them ground to be who they really are. Okay. Um, if somebody was cheating on you before you get married, when they get married, the marriage is not going to change it. You know, it's not going to change it. I hear some people say, oh, when he get married or when she get married, she will
It will
change.
change.
No, 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 please.
Or you can change the person. That's like the worst
No,
thing I hate to hear.
nobody change anybody. People decide to change.
Yeah.
Nobody change because of somebody. People hit the roadblock, you know, they reach to the dead and they turn around.
I think you can influence people though. Sorry, I got
You can
someone's trying to
influence
call me.
you can influence people behavior, you
Right.
know. You can influence people behavior, but you are not the one that is changing them. That change is a personal decision, you know.
Right.
and, and that's where most people make a mistake. They try to force people, you know. They try to force it out of people, and most of the time when you force people to change, they
Hmm.
pretend.
Right. Right.
But anyway, um if something is not working right for you in a relationship, I always tell people your peace of mind is priceless. It's
Mm.
it you know You should always protect it at any time, at any cost, because it is all that you have.
True.
If you lose your mental, or if you lose your mind and you put yourself in depression, and know that it is hard to come out of depression if God is not with you.
I
So
agree.
anything that will cause that, end it right away. We are not encouraging people to leave their relationship. We are
Right.
not, saying, that those things cannot be talked about. The ones that can be talked about, let it be talked about. The ones that are more important to you, and you think that your voice doesn't matter in that direction, speak it out.
Yeah.
And if it's going to cost you your peace of mind, your happiness, your joy, I mean, let it go.
I agree. You know, when you're saying this, I'm thinking about there's a clip I think I shared in our group chat, and I was so angry for that young man. On Thanksgiving, apparently there was a guy. He found out that three children that he has been told he's the father was not the father, and the like just watching the video, I could just see like how toxic that relationship had been, right? just hearing the woman what she was saying. Um, he was like, I need time by myself. I need to think. I don't need you around me. I need you to stay away from me. And she's like, well, I told you it's a mistake. Mistake happens. And I'm just sitting there. I'm so mad just watching it. Like, who are his siblings? Who are his parents? Like, why is she even there talking to him? Like, how dare you talk to someone? So I'm not a man to, like, feel, oh, we lost Jimmy. I'm not a man, but I'm just thinking, like, to myself, like, how stupid and dumb I would feel, just as a woman, and then having the audacity to stand there and tell you, well, mistakes happen. That's not a mistake. People are so, I'm sorry. Like, I was so mad. I'm still mad when I think about it. You didn't have one, but two. And I hate to say, but I don't think he didn't know. I feel like he had a feeling, and that's what probably prompted. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because it goes back to staying together for the sake of the children. Like, you probably had a feeling and you didn't go. I feel like your instinct is something that God is like it's like your power that God gave you to use, right? And there's a reason you have those hunches. Like, when that hunch hits, I feel like you need to either evaluate it and try to use it and check it and get clarity from whoever that individual at all costs. Because there's no reason for you to have those instincts that are in there. And then for someone who doesn't recognize that, and I know when my husband and I were talking about it, he said he's gonna let her back in, because if he can let her come in the house to talk to him about this, he's gonna let her back in with the kids. So in those situations, it's kind of like, what moral value are you teaching those children? Would you say he should stay with her? Like, because now, I've already been taking care of them for the past 6 years. They know me as their dad. Should I just do it? Jimmy, you're the only man on here. What would you do, though?
Yeah, I went out briefly and I didn't get the beginning of what you said. So if you would just repeat it
Yeah.
so I can get
No,
the full.
yeah, no, I was saying, right, when we're talking about this topic, what comes to my mind is there's a video I shared with you guys in the group chat where I think I posted it on my story. This young man, he's been taking care of three children allegedly that are his children. And then on Thanksgiving, he find out from DNA that that's not his children. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, he probably knew about this long time ago. He had a instinct or hunch to even prompt him to go and do a DNA test. And now he got clarity, but she has the audacity to come in there and tell him that, oh, it was a mistake. Mistake happened. Forgive me. And they're in his house discussing there. Like,
You know, fee,
yeah,
there are mistakes that are, erasable.
that's not a mistake, though.
There are mistakes that people can make up for, and there are mistakes that you can never make up for, and you cannot undo those things. And that's just one of those mistakes, according to her, quote unquote mistakes, that you
Right.
cannot undo. Okay. Letting another man take care of a child
It's not his.
belo- that is not his, especially without his consent or without he being aware of it, is equivalent to murder.
I agree. I
You know,
agree.
and that is why in most cases most people would go to the extreme of killing killing the female
Right.
and kill themselves, and sometimes even kill the child, because they just can't live with it. So I would, those are not, that could be one of the, irreconcilable differences in in a marriage,
Yeah.
and those kind of things. Every time you see that child, you see the time that you have put in, how this child have taken to you and you have taken to the child. Just that, just that um part of it, to come to know that this child is not yours, and knowing that the father is somewhere out there, that he can come in and claim this child anytime.
Right.
It's traumatic, and it is not something that just I'm sorry can take away. you
Right.
know yeah, it is not one of those things. But if I was the man, in that kind of situation, um I would let the child know,
I
you
mean,
know
they're young. They're very. I think the only one I can really probably hear, and they were in the midst of that argument, standing right there. I think it's the oldest one, but they're
yeah.
really young. I don't know.
So here is the thing, Fee.
Mhm.
No matter how long it takes, there will always come that time that the child will
So
know.
wait.
Expect
So you wouldn't break up the marriage? You'll stay in a relationship?
Well, one of the I mean, the only reason that is stated in the Bible, explicitly stated in the Bible for divorce, is
Mhm.
adultery.
But that's it right there.
And that's a very good ground for divorce. However, I've seen people live together after they notice that.
Hmm.
And yes,
How you
af-
can't? I'm
a-
sorry.
after they notice that, they call they they find the father of the child
Hmm.
and ask him if he want to take custody of his child.
Wow.
Yes. And the father, the father was very respectful. He said, in as much as he is my son, but he has known you as his father. Taking him away, from you, we create a, you don't know how, I don't know how he would take it, or and alcohol and stuff like that. So I, if you give me the permission, I'll be coming around. But if you and your wife agree, I think I would say let the child stay here. He call you, daddy and all of that. But when he in the future decides that he want to come with me, I will I will welcome that, and we should respect that. But for now, I think we should keep it as it is. I will contribute. I will do whatever, in my capacity I can do. But if you agree as you know, the stepfather, that he stays, I think, we can work on that, and they came to an agreement, and they kept the boy, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, they kept the boy. In fact, the boy knew the father to be his uncle.
Wow.
Yes. So every time he come around, Mommy, uncle is here. Uncle would take him. They will go out and bring him back and all of that. And what I'm saying is happening right here, right now.
In the US here?
Yes.
My God. And their marriage, they're still married and
Ye-
together?
Yes, they're still married. They're still married. But here is the deal. The husband was very clear that the day I see anything that resembles you and your quote unquote ex having something to do, it will be that very day that you will leave my home.
He's better than me. I'm sorry. He is better than me. Um,
Yeah.
he, I
You know,
mean, I'm a Christian, right? And I believe in all of those things. Maybe I guess they said when you're not in this situation, you don't know. But
but
he's
let's hear
better than
what
me.
Anna, let's hear from Anna, if she's
Ah,
available.
hear what he just said. Seriously, what? I can't even believe there's people that can do that.
So that we should have been an irreconcilable differences or difference, it became reconciled. Because
I guess
why?
he loved her.
Yes, the two people,
Hmm.
you know, um, accepted. They agreed to, they had an issue and they agree, to work on it together. You see? So
So
these
I
things
have
can
a
happen.
follow up question for you before you go
Yeah.
further.
hmm
Was that child conceived prior to them being legally married?
So no, no.
So it was conceived during the marriage.
During the marriage, they have
Oh
another
my
child.
God.
They have another child, before this child. Okay. So according to the female, um, I think, it was a one night stand. You know how you go out to a party and having fun and stuff like that. And it just happened.
It didn't
And
just
now,
happen. It's a process.
yes,
That's
no,
what I can't wrap around my head that there is a human being that can accept that.
here is the thing, Fee, and
Hmm.
and this is why I advise every, you know, everyone, when your head is too little for alcohol, stay away
Right.
from it. Stay away from it because the slightest mistake that you made, you know, you will. Is that Salome? Mhm,
I did it on purpose.
mhm. Right.
I did it on purpose.
So,
Go ahead. Don't get distracted.
if you know alcohol is not your game, don't get into it.
Yeah.
Okay, don't get into it. She went to a party, she drank, she was tipsy, and she couldn't drive home. She needed a ride, and this guy, um,
Took
you know,
advantage.
have been friends, and he have been trying to talk to her, offered to give her a ride home, and then on their way home, she just became, according to herself, she was
Well,
her.
according to him, because if she was under the influence, she didn't know what was happening.
The both of them, the both of them drank, but he was able to drive. But at some point, she just, when he actually drove for home, and that thing happened right in the car. It did not happen anyway. She said she just found herself on the guy. The guy, tried to resist, but she couldn't let
He
him
said
go.
that.
Herself said it. I don't know whether she said it
No, they
because,
have a relationship going on. I'm sorry, I'm a woman and I don't believe that. I don't buy that story.
well, um,
She was not drunk. She knew. Because
and
the reason I'm saying this, right? If you were drunk, and maybe because I haven't been drunk to say that, because I don't really drink, but I
see,
feel like in my experience with friends when I was in college, when we hang out, there were a few friends who would pretend they're drunk, right? And they want certain guys, so they make it seems like they're drunk, they're under the influence, but they're alert enough to remember and let you know, and then later on come back and say, "Oh, he raped me." But what I'm saying is, if you say you were drunk, right, you won't remember everything in depth to say, "Well, he did." The way you would explain that story would be a little bit different.
so
I don't believe her. I mean, he loved her, so clearly she should count herself blessed. But if that was my brother, I would not accept that story. I'm sorry.
you wouldn't make a decision for your brother,
I wouldn't, but my one thing in my family, I feel like everybody make their own consent decision about their relationship and whatsoever. But you can put one and two together. We still listen to each other. We all talk to each other and we all listen to each other, but nobody's going to make the decision for you. But just putting one and two together,
and
they
and
have
and
they had a texting relationship going on. Let me tell you now, as a
but
woman,
I
they have
told
that
you,
going on.
that according to their story, the guy was toasting her and stuff like
Right,
that.
and I held to it before,
You
but
know,
she wasn't sure, and she always used to talk to him when there was a problem in her marriage. I'm telling you that now. So
so
that was an opportunity to get that done. There's always an underlining story to everything, you know. I'm happy for her that she was able to get someone that can forgive her and get
and
that
here is
going.
the thing,
But there's a relationship going on there. Sorry.
and here is the thing. When she got pregnant, according to her
Mhm.
and according to the guy, she called him and
So
told him,
when you got pregnant, what happened to talking about it with your husband and say, hey, if you, okay, here is the thing, right? I will give myself as an example, right? We're all women. There's always men that will be interested in you. And let's just say, okay, I went to a party. I barely even go anywhere, anyways, but who cares? Let's just say I went to a Christmas party and there's someone there that I know has been trying to talk to me or flirt with me, and then I want a drink and they gave me a drink. Let's say eggnog because that's a holiday thing, right? Everybody's
mhm,
drinking an eggnog, and then he probably spiked my drink and I drink it, and then I'm alert enough to know that something is about to happen. Instead of there's always that conscience that hit you. I don't care drunk or not. There's something that hit you and say stop, you know. But we proceed. Let's just say I proceed and then find out I'm pregnant. Between that time, you're calculating, you're conceived. I don't know, some women don't even use their calendar. I do. But you're looking at your calendar and you're calculating these things are happening. And it never once clicked to you and say, oh, maybe I should talk to my husband about this. Even whatever happened happens. Or right after that incident happened, if it was a mistake. This is what I said is not a mistake, right? Mistake is something that you feel bad about and you want to come clean and talk about it or fix it, right? But you let this mistake continue. You went through the pregnancy. You pretend, you call the person that you think is the one that have the child and pretend. That's why I said he is God sent. Because if it was me, I'm not buying it. I'm not forgiving you. Well, let me take it back. I forgive you, but I let you both go live together and take care of your children or your child. Because if I got pregnant, I will tell my husband, hey, I need to come clean. If I didn't come clean right away at that time, I will tell you, I say, hey, I need to talk to you. I know you're going to help me. This is a bad conversation to have, but I need to tell you X, Y,
Fee,
and Z happening on X, Y, and Z
fee,
day, and I'm pregnant.
fee. You
Yeah.
know, let us not,
I
deviate
know, I'm just so
from our
invested in it
topic.
because I hate when people
But
lie.
here
Like,
is the
I just
thing.
hate when people lie when the truth
He,
is right there.
Here is the thing, right?
Yeah.
Here is the thing. Um, Women, when they have those kind of moments,
Hmm.
they know how to take preventive measures.
I know.
You know, yeah. If you know you were drunk or you got tipsy
Where's your
and
friends?
you ran into something, I mean, you have 72 hours to,
Thank you. I didn't want to say that before people say I'm encouraging, but
no.
you have 72 hours. You can go to CVS. You can drink. There's a whole lot of things that are happening in our world.
So the fact that you kept it
There's a
and
relationship going on. We
it
need
got
to be careful.
mature, it got mature, and most women have a tendency that married women can born faster
That's
child.
the time. Yeah.
But how did the guy know about this thing? The child got sick and they needed blood.
Always like the Nigerian movie. We gotta
And
make this a topic. Seriously, I'm so invested in it.
you know, he went to donate, and doctor
He
was like,
went to go donate. The guy magically, he just knew to go donate.
no, they when the child got sick,
Hmm.
the father, not the biological father,
Oh, okay.
yes, went to donate because all to himself, that's his son.
Child. Yeah.
Yes, you know. So he was like, okay, that's my son. That's it. I can donate.
And she sat there. She can kill him. I'm sorry. I'm so mad.
And that's when they got to. That's when he got to find out, and now it opens.
Can of
You know,
worm.
yeah, yeah,
Wow, our co-host is on. I'm so angry right now. Like I'm mad for him.
yeah.
And you
But
can tell
fee,
he's such a good person. He is such a
yeah.
good person. He
But
don't
fee,
deserve that.
I have to leave because
Okay.
I'm really, 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 really exhausted, as you can
I
see.
know I can see in your eyes.
Yeah,
It's all over your face. You, you know that you working for my incoming sister-in-law. It's okay. Go get some rest.
fee. See, okay, I will leave that. Good night, everyone.
Good
And
Good
night.
night.
Thank
Salome,
you
it's
so
good to
much,
see you
Jimmy.
on tonight. Anna,
Maybe she can join
Yes,
tomorrow when you're back.
I'm
who?
here.
Salome?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that would be nice. That would be great. At least
Mhm.
we can have three females on the show.
I'm telling you, thank God Anna came in and saved me.
Were they
All right,
fighting you or what?
Well, I
Anna,
just felt
Merry
out of
Christmas.
place.
Anna,
Merry Christmas,
Anna,
Jimmy.
Anna, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Same to you in
My
advance.
Christmas on all of you in your
Oh,
blood
oh,
everywhere.
please. Oh, please. You stay enjoying your Thanksgiving food in our house. You still got some Thanksgiving
I'm
food.
telling you, I'm tired with it.
Bye bye.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. But welcome to the show, Andrew. Andrew busy and just log on. I hope he ain't sleeping. Oh. But yeah, I'm sorry, you guys. What Jimmy was saying really got me because I knew something about that story. She was lying, and I would look her right in the face and tell her, "You lying." Why would you wait if it was a mistake, right? Why did you wait till the child you find out you're pregnant? A mistake, guess what? The next morning you better run yourself to that CVS and drink whatever you need to drink and call it a day. I ain't telling you what it is, but you better do that. And two, you that morning when you woke up, but that same night when you came in, if you were sorry about what happened, you should have called your husband. I don't care if the relationship's on the line. Tell the truth. Sit down, have that conversation. That's when you could have been getting forgiven for real. Instead of waiting, when you got pregnant, you deceived him. You knew who the father were. You called the father. You deceived him, and then had a child, had this man thinking, oh my gosh, I have my son, and blah, blah, blah. And then you wait, the child's sick and need help. Then dad stepped up. Dad find out when he's about to save his child. Oh, not yours. Didn't match. And now you're like, oh yeah, I think his father's over there. Let's call him. We're gonna have this conversation one of these days. I don't like that. I don't like if you're going to be responsible enough to say it's a mistake, live up to it. Like life is so simple. I don't know why people make it so hard. It's easy. It's practical. Just say it. But again, some people are blessed. Some people are blessed. You gotta count herself blessed to even have that marriage going on because that's a bloody truth.
Yeah, yeah, hello there. How you doing?
Thank you. Hey, how are you?
Oh, I'm
Hi,
okay.
Pastor
How are you guys
Charles.
doing?
How are you? Huh? What you
I'm
said?
okay.
What is Yeah, welcome. We're talking about unreconcilable differences. In keeping in keeping, people staying for the sake of the children. They know the marriage is over, and we kind of got into another topic when I brought up, this gentleman that on Thanksgiving he found out three children he's been taking care of that he believed was his children are not his. And then, Jimmy shared, someone had the same incident where um they kept the child, and but the woman with the story, it's bothering me. I don't believe that. I mean, when he told the story without giving all the details, I'm like, he's better than me. I can forgive you as a person, but I can't stay in that space because um that's just not true. Like, yeah, women know who their father of their children are. They shouldn't lie. They always knew. They always know. Every woman know who the father is for their children. And if you're naive, you're not watching your calendar, which if you're a woman, I think every woman, either young or whatsoever, you need to know your your biological clock cycle. You need to know that. It's your body you live in it. Huh? You need to know that. You need to watch the clock. You need to look at when your temperature is at a certain level, what's going on with you.
Ariel,
Like
look at what you're
you live
doing.
in
Very
your
soon you'll be
body.
first to cry. I don't want to sit.
So you should know how to manage that. And if it's truly a mistake, which I get it, but I don't think circumstances like cheating, um, I don't think is a mistake. The only time I consider that mistake is I went to a place and somebody spiked my drink. I drank it and they took advantage of me. But even with that, you won't remember the whole story to come and tell it. You're remembering story and say I was drunk. I put myself on him. When you're drunk, you have misjudgment. You're not aware of what's happening there, and you're remorseful for whatever that you do. And if a woman refuse a DNA, the red flag is a red flag. She knows something you don't know.
The topic is quite interesting. I was just listening. I didn't want to participate. I will monitor you online. I will
Mhm.
follow in, but I decided to come join in to get my own little piece. When it comes to that,
Mhm.
it can be really 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 easy. But similar situation. Sometimes I follow the Davos quote,
Yeah, me too.
and I follow it. Most of the time I do follow it. And so, and just today I was following it, and there's a gentleman, three, two young lady. One, the older one is at 30. I think the second one should be at 28 something or 27. I don't know. But can you imagine the two children, ladies,
Hmm.
are not him for him. They did the DNA, and the children are not his. He
It's
burst out in
happening a
tears.
lot.
He
Huh.
cried. But you know what he said?
Mm-mm.
He took care of those children at age, when they were baby, and he can't do anything otherwise but to accept them as his children. Even though the DNA proved that they are not his children, but he could accept them. He can accept them as his children. Imagine that, you know. So it varies from individual to individual. But guess what? In another situation of that same double school, another individual said no. He accepted the children, but he said he cannot forgive the woman. He said, I
Yeah,
can
that
forgive, but
is
I
right
lose.
too.
I I I I, I can no longer trust her. I can no longer trust her because what she did is nothing that she's supposed to do. So I can't trust her no longer because all the time I've been here and you allow me to go through this and take care of the children, so I can no longer trust you. But when it comes to that, I think the women would easily forgive
You
as
think so?
compared to women will easily forgive the men if the men got into a situation. If the man cheated,
Mm-hmm.
he can easily be forgiven by the woman. Then when
And
the
she
woman
take
cheats,
care of the children?
no, what I'm saying,
Okay.
if a man, I'll come to that point. If a man cheats, okay, if he cheats, he easily be forgiven. He and his wife, they can easily, or forgive each other. Then the man. So both of them will forgive each other. The woman will say, "Okay, I forgive you," and they will start to go and help to raise the children. But I'm saying in the event where in the woman went and cheated,
Hmm.
you will never see the man easily wanting to forgive his wife. I mean, that is a known situation, He
True.
wouldn't want to forgive his wife. So these things happen in all cases, but it varies from individual to individual. It varies from case to case. I
I
can say
agree.
me. I can say me today. I can say me tomorrow because
It depends on the situation, right?
it depends exactly on the situation I involved. Because you gave him a story, you say you drunk, and you met a
Hmm.
guy, and you just met him today. Then at the end of it,
No,
you say,
they've
"Oh,
been.
I was
She
drunk."
she said she said the guy been trying to toast her, but I don't know. That story is just bizarre. Even I'm a
No,
woman. I can never tell that type of story.
no, you cannot. You cannot even tell that kind of type of story. You cannot tell that kind of story. You cannot. Okay, you cannot. So, but it's always difficult. The man will cheat and admit that he cheats. The woman will cheat, she will admit that she cheats. So, but you say, "Oh, I didn't know how it happened. I just did it. It just happened that kind of way." No, no, no. You're not going to bring that crap to me when you listen to it. So,
I
but
was
men,
actually I kind of disagree. I feel like women are very because we know when men wouldn't forgive. Most women do not admit they're cheating unless it's right in their face. Like this example that Jimmy gave, right? That man would have never known about that incident if there wasn't a child involved and this whole incident popped up. Most
so I'm
women
saying,
cheat. Uh-huh.
so my point here is when
Hmm.
such situation happen, when a woman is caught cheating, the
Hmm.
woman is caught in a act of cheating, the man might easily forgive her as
True.
compared to when the man gets cheating. No, if the man got caught cheating, the woman will easily forgive the man as compared to the woman cheating and the man forget. It will be hard for men to
True.
easily forgive the woman when they cheat. That's the argument I'm putting here.
Yeah, but
That's
these
the
days
point.
I agree. But these days there's a lot of men are forgiving women now for cheating. Um,
But they will not have that trust in you no longer. They feel that
yeah,
you go start to do the same thing over and over. Because
and I think that, yeah,
if I were with you and then we go do a DNA and we went to the paternity court or whatever, we go do DNA for the child and that child is not mine. If the feelings are there, still there for the children, I will take it of the children. But that woman, no, you won't. No, no, no. Because the trust will no longer be there. The
true.
trust will no longer be there.
That's
But I'm
true.
saying on the opposite side, the man will easily won't forgive the woman will easily won't forgive. If the man went outside and had a child, no, the woman won't have to. She'll just bring my child home. But you,
Yeah.
look, I'll tell you something. And it's a real story. The woman left the home.
Mm.
She went out and she had a child while she's still married. Had a child with someone else. You pretty tell me, you expect the man to forgive her? I'm telling you true love story. I'm telling you.
I mean,
You
that's the
expect the man
same
to
thing
forgive?
here. I don't expect the man to forgive her, but I mean, it could happen. It depends on how it happened, right? But my thing is, every woman know when they make that moves and something happen, why not come clean right away and just
So somebody will ask you, why did you do it in the first place?
right.
Somebody will ask you, why did you do it in the first place?
You have other
If
options. I
you
mean,
want to do it, why couldn't you protect yourself? Was
right.
you were you desperate?
That's
So
true.
it will raise more questions than answers. They're going to raise more questions than answers. They will ask whether you're desperate. Why must you engage into it? And the fact of the matter that you go to take pregnancy and bring it, and you know very well
Wow.
that child does not belong to the man. Every woman know the who impregnate them, and you know very well that child does not belong to the man. They allow the man to go through the
The
education,
pregnancy.
medical bill, all those kind of things. Then the child reach at that level. Then the DNA say, "Oh, that's not my child." Do you know how many? I know a friend of mine. He's in Florida. He first son, we all in exact Ivory Coast. We were young people coming up, hustling. Well, according to him, he impregnated already. Fortunately for him, he went to the States, getting ready to file for the child. He came like, bro, I was there. He did all of the paper for the child. When he did the DNA, he proved the DNA did it 3 times. They did it in Liberia. They sent a sample in America and everything. And up to today, he just said he adopted the child. But he don't want, even though they are parted, but he adopted the child. He said because he know the kind of feelings he have for the child. But he didn't trust it, they no longer. To eating. So the situation is very from individual to individual. It's terrible. But for me,
I agree.
for
I
me,
don't know.
it will be different. I don't know how I will react, but
Yeah.
I've been taking care of my children. Google. Then at the end of the day, someone will say, maybe the feelings I have for them, I'll say, okay, well, without one bag, you pack alone and go. You will not come back. You will not see me. Say,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
begging.
just. I mean, uh, I'm just thinking. Maybe because I try to put myself in other people's shoes, right? But I'm just thinking, how do you sleep at night right next to someone? They're rubbing your belly that you know that's not that person's child. Um, like if it
That's
calls
what
for
we
you to live.
That one make women are evil.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like that person can kill you because if I know very well, my conscience alone will not allow me to sleep in that house all night. Like I can't, I will be restless. Let alone finding out that I'm pregnant. And then, but then going back to our topic where it says should married couples with unreconcilable differences, stay married. So to me, that's one of the biggest ones. So for the sake of these children, why am I staying there? I'm not going to be fully myself if I was the one. I feel like women, because with men, right? When men, and I'm not trying to find excuse for men, but I feel like with men, it's a little bit easier when a man tells you, "Oh, it was a mistake. I didn't mean it," right? And I know some people will come for me and say, "Well, you're finding an excuse." The only reason I say that because he's not there. He's not the one carrying the pregnancy, right? Someone else is carrying it. And that person might choose to not disclose that information until they have the child. And then all of a sudden, the child is birthed. And now everything is out there because, or whatever reason, right? But it's different as a woman. I am the one carrying the child. So right after that, whatever event I got myself involved in, I just feel like I'm good. You didn't use protection. That's a possibility of you bringing some type of disease to your partner. Like how are you sleeping at night? You know, like I'm just like, how are you feeling? And if you get to that level where you're doing that, it does this relationship even matter to you anymore? Because for me, I just feel like if I have to be to that level and do that, that means this relationship that I'm in is over. Because it might not be physically over because we have to go through a process, but I'm done. Like I can't be in that relationship anymore because my conscience will not serve me right because I know I will be so out of it. I have to tell you, and if I tell you, I know there's a chance that I won't have my relationship anymore. So it's just to me, it's just so messy. Like when you do that, you can go to you can go to the drugstore. You have a medication you can take because nothing has been formed because it's an emergency. You could take it, but your conscience is still with you. Why not just talk about it? If in the end it's gonna come back as a mistake. So in this case, I feel like men not really forgive and do it. They are gossiping, and those women to count themselves blessed among women. Because for me, if I was a man and you say that I can't accept it, especially knowing as a woman the process, laying there throughout that pregnancy when you want whatever craving you want, your feet hurt, you got to the level you can't even put your shoes on, you can't even take a bath, they have to help you. You're going through that. That's someone else's problem, and they're laying somewhere relaxing, and someone else son has to deal with that. And then you wake up, oh God help me, somebody treat my son like that. Mm-mm, it can't happen. I'm sorry.
Nobody will treat my nephew that other.
God so help me. God so help me. I think Pastor Charles wants to come on. Let me put the link in the comment section. Um, God so help me. God so help me. I'm telling you. Hey, that would be a problem. That mother part would really be in Nigerian movie. It would be a mother. It was saying he's a mama's boy. Yeah, let him be. That is so horrible. Is one of the worst thing you can do to anyone. I just feel like that's someone you can't trust. Pastor Charles, I just put a link back in the comment section. You can just click on it and join us. But yeah, going back to the topic before, I just got caught up with this because this is too much. Like women, young men and women, if you're doing this, like just stop. Stop doing that. That's not right. you could get killed. And I'm saying that being like really loud about it, because someone who doesn't have the mind to really compose themselves and put themselves together, they could react. And our body, we have fight or flight. If you feel like, when your adrenaline kicks in, it's kind of like when I used to run track and field. When you're like in that zone where you're running, your entire body, even if you fell, you got hurt, is a meet. You're running in a competitive sport and you hurt yourself, your adrenaline kicks in, is in fight or flight, and you're there to save yourself. So your body does not take that. So your body have that self healing mode where you're in, but then once something kicked in that you need to heal yourself, you start doing that defense mechanism, right? So you don't know who you're going to do this to. And then if you do it to them, how they're going to react. Because, and you better pray it's somewhat like whoever Jimmy described, because I can't be like him. I can't. Because when you're telling me a story, guess what? My mind is running 1,000 miles an hour. I am calculating what you're saying, every words that are coming out of your mouth. I'm calculating it and trying to see what part of that is true, what part of it is a lie. And I'm watching every body language. So, going back to our topic, we talked about, first we defined what unreconcilable differences it is. The differences are emotional distance, different value, lack of communication, betrayal, trauma, treatment. And I feel like trauma, betrayal is one of those big one, that people, may go through and say unreconcilable differences. And two, how does this really actually affects children? What kids actually witness when you stay in a traumatic relationship like this, right? The person forgiving you to stay in this relationship, my, you know, how do you know how that relationship is going to move forward? Because now, if it's me, I have my defense mechanism on now. Now, anything you tell me, I'm going to recalculate. I don't believe you. If you tell me you're going, I say, yeah, 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 whatever. So now you're living on eggshells. You cannot fully be yourself. So why stay in it? Why? Why should you stay in it? Anna, you can jump in whenever you feel the need to.
Sure, no problem.
Mm-hmm. So it's just you and I right now. So whenever you can pop it in. So what kids really witness in unreconcilable differences is loveless and hostile home, emotional trauma, broken relationship templates. So you're literally building future children that are so damaged. Sorry to say it, but it's true. These children are damaged because now you've made them to understand the world in a different lens. And your goal as a parent is to make sure you set them up for success in society. You're not going to create another hurt human being that is walking around thinking everybody else own them or everybody else is out to get them. And this is the world that we live in. So that's why when you're doing that, even if that love of that relationship that you once thought was there, if it's not there anymore, you can sit down as an adult, sit down, have conversation. You might not like me romantically, but you got to like me as a human being because I have children with you and we need to sit down and talk. It has nothing to do with love anymore. This is about business. And when you have children in relationships, in my opinion, it's business. Because love is not there anymore. You don't love me. I don't love you. We don't want to be together romantically. Okay, that's fine. But we have mutual business to take care of. So let's sit down and have conversation. Okay. So once before you and I brought these little people in the world, You and I was on one decision how we wanted to raise our children. And if you weren't there, you need to sit down and have that conversation if you're going to leave. But don't say, I'm going to stay because, the children need to see two of us together. What is the point? You can't, they're not watching both of you communicating. They're not seeing you're sitting at dinner table and eating and having discussion. They're not seeing you guys even talking to each other nicely. You're not saying nice thing about him or her. So what is the point? So I agree. Like, walk out, leave. What's the point? Just to say we're in the same house? You're not helping them at all. Whatever you're doing, you're damaging them. Because now you're telling them that if there is no love or whatsoever, we stay just to use each other because it's convenient. Now they live in the whole world thinking that they should use people to survive. I know it sounds dramatic, but it is dramatic. Um, so the third part is the danger of staying but not healing. So every human being deserves to be healed, seen, and seen, in my opinion. You stay in a relationship that is not serving you any purpose, is not helping you in any shape or form, is not nurturing you to grow. Every time you see that person, your heart drops. You have a headache. You can't even be yourself. You can't smile. You're just living like a stoic life. That's not how life is supposed to be. Um, if you had a camera in your home that I watched a movie long time ago when I took a film class. And long time ago, I watched a movie. I can't really remember the name of the movie. And there was a camera placed in a corner to watch the growth of that family. From the moment they walk into that house as a couple without children, from the day their last child walked out of high school. So watching that film really tells you you might be sitting there and think everything is still the same, but there's a lot changing in your life that you don't even know about. So then when they first moved in, they were happy. This was 18 years. This camera was just rolling. All they could do was change the what is it called? Back then, because I think the camera used to have some type of film thing you got to put in, like the SD card. And they filmed their entire life from the time the mom got pregnant and everything. Like watching this film literally tells me, it's now that I'm realizing how important that film was. It's like your life, right? God has watched you from the moment you were formed as a mustard seed in your mom's belly, and you grew, the belly grew, had that happen, and then fast forward, you came to earth, you came with everything you came with to earth, and then boom, you're an adult, you started your own life. So it's like a whole film. Your entire life is a film. So if you went back and watched this film of your children when you guys were all happy sitting at a table laughing when it came from school, how you had conversation around the dinner table talking about how to do homework and all these fun activity things. Oh, we went out, we eat. Kids make you mad. You talk about it and how they're growing when you look at your counter. Like we have a counter here when we first moved in. My daughter, she was way under the counter. Now she's almost at eye level with the counter, and we're noticing that. We're like, wow, she's growing, you know. So that's how your life is supposed to quote unquote be, right? There should be a change every single day, minute, second. Today, this very hour, 10:39 p.m. in my area on a Saturday, I have never lived a December 6, 2025, 10:40 p.m. I've never lived in this second moment before. But because it's so familiar, we always think it's okay. I did this before. I'm good. I'm good. but it's not. So you build resentment when you stay in a relationship that doesn't serve you. You become passive aggressive, you know. You take your frustration on the children because everything about these children reminds you about the life you once had and the life that you're losing. And now you're in the space that. So something I really used to do when I was dating, when I lived by myself, anybody that I dated was not allowed to sleep at my house. You can visit me during the day, but you're not allowed to sleep at my house. Or I think there was only one or two person that came to my house, but you're not allowed to sleep at my house. You're anybody else that I talk to, you're not allowed to even come to my house because I don't want to create the atmosphere. This is my home and this is my safe space. You know, when you get out in the world and it's so bad, when you come home and you're like, yeah, I'm at home. That's how it should be. That's your safe place. So you don't just bring just anybody. Everybody have bad spirits. Some people have bad spirit. Once they come in, everything's just scattered, you know. So those are my rules. Like you can't come to my house. If you want to invite me to your house, you're welcome. I'll go there. But you're not coming to my house because if it doesn't work out or we're gonna create some uncomfortable moments in here. No, you're not allowed to sleep at my house. Sorry. You can visit me during the day. We can kiki gaga, eat dinner, whatever. Bye. When it reach a certain time, bye. You gotta go. It used to be so bad. This is like you gotta go. So to solve all that problem, you can't come to my house. We can be at a public place. If you're man enough and we're really in the relationship and you want to dip and dive in whatsoever activities, you're paid. Go pay for it. Get a hotel. Figure it out. I don't care. So those were things that I feel like was helping me mentally because I've been through a lot in my life. And at that point, having my own space was my safe haven. And I did not need anybody to come in and mess up my peace. Your peace is way, way, way important in life than anything. So I say that because if this is your safe space and now you're not in a good space with your spouse, why are you even staying there together? Why? For the sake of the children? It becomes the worst place to be. So if you have another space and you came to the house there to pick up whatever there to go to your space, you feel calmer. It's easier for you to think through life. It's easy for you to put things in perspective and start to think about life. So that's why it's very important. Protect your peace. Protect it. Protect it. So don't stay for the children. Children have their lives to live. Your responsibility to make sure they have food, shelter, and they become the best citizen they can possibly be for the next generation. So you stay in a space that doesn't serve you, that you can't even be fully present to raise them, does you a very really bad disservice. So don't do it. Don't do it. When staying may be beneficial.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
I was gonna say you're very right about that. I think that when there's something they say you function fully when your body is happy, you're full, you're whole. It transcends to everything around you, and it's important that you put yourself and happiness first, and then it would transcend to the kids. If you're not happy, the kids can kind of rub through that emotion and feelings and stuff. So I agree with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and kids pick up everything. They know. Like my daughter is so in tune. She knows when I'm like annoyed and then when I'm saying things when I'm like, stop. She's like, are you angry? I need love. So that's our safe words, right? She'll say, I need love. When I say I need love, she knows to give me a hug and say, I'm sorry. So when I say something to her that she's mad about, she'll cry. She'll look at me and say, Mommy, I need love. I need love. I need love. It's so cute though, you know? So yeah, and you're right. So some people say when here's another thing is that when it's safe to stay, if both are genuinely committed to grow. So if you both look at it and say, you know what, it it doesn't make sense. I'm willing to work at this. You're willing to work at this. Let's give it a shot. At that point, your mind is in one direction. It's not, I'm over here thinking about rainbow and unicorn. You're over there thinking about, oh my gosh, why is she here? Like, no, don't do it. Um, Counseling, spiritual leadership, accountability. I feel like nowadays, the way the whole world is going, a lot of people don't have a lot of faith in their spiritual leaders. Um, for me, I think when I've been and I've been through some up and down this year, I think, but I don't think it's been anything close to what I've been through in my life. So I don't think it's been really like, it shook me a little bit, but I don't think it can really get me to a space. Again, you never know because I was never this age. I was never, we're getting older and things are changing. So I can't really say never, but I would say something that's really been helping me when I've been through some difficult times is just reading. Like just you'll find that I become very distant. You won't hear from me. I'm in my own little corner and just, and it's a good thing for me because I get in tune with myself. That's when I think clear. I stay up very late. Um, some people say like you're lost in thought. Yes and no, but I thrive better when the entire world is quiet. Like when nobody is up and talking or anything, I can sit and just think through in my head. I'm not really like thinking about bad things or being like very, very depressed, but it helps my mind to really relax. By nature, I'm a very introvert person, but I think as I'm getting older, I'm becoming more extrovert. But but yeah, it helps me think there's certain time is weird. I don't want people around me. I don't want nobody around me. I just want to be by myself. I just want to think about things, and it helps you put your mind in perspective. Um, you guys are so good. You've been so. But yeah, it get my mind in places where I think clearly and I can function, I can pull things together. I start to write or start to read. And I think every individual should find that thing that really calm and soothe them. You have to be able to self-soothe. You have to be able to, you know, and it's hard for some people. Like for me, I've never been to a therapist, but I thought about it. I thought about, well, maybe I should talk to a therapist. But then when I sit and think about it, of everything that I've been through and I've been able to self-soothe and live a life that, in my opinion, is okay. Um, and just read my Bible. I have a little app now that every hour it gives me strict scripture to read and they give me some, context with that. So my phone, it will pop up on my phone. So I don't have a choice. You can be like, oh, I have to flip through the Bible. No, every hour, once I hit like 11 o'clock, you guys, I probably will show you. Once I hit 11 o'clock, there's a verse that comes up. Well, it's late now. It probably says bedtime, so it won't do it. But once it's a certain time, there's a verse that comes on. There's always a context with that verse, and I'll read it. And I have my little woman's Bible. Those are things like I read that, kind of like help me soothe. And in that moment when I'm by myself, I'm in my thought, I'm trying to, take my whatever circumstances I'm going through, I put that together with whatever that verse is and try to, tell myself, you know what? It's going to be okay. And then put my mind in a positive space to be able to see how best I can figure out this situation that I'm in. So that's been very, very helpful. So if you're in that space and you and your spouse feel like there's a thing that, we can work through this. I think as much as you as a couple, you're going to do a thing together, you need to have some form of way that will help you self-soothe. It doesn't, some people turn to all things, positive reinforcement things that will help you. Mine is I stay up late at night. Um, Read and stay in my own little corner and just, get myself in deep thought before I go to bed. So that way I'm not really going to bed with everything on my mind heavy and then waking up and then still back in that space. So that's how I self soothe. Um, oh my, the time is running. Um, so the sixth part is faith perspective. So I know everybody believes God hates divorce. If he's studying in his word, he does. He hates divorce. But I always see the Bible like the law. You know, there is law that prohibits people from doing certain things, and there are clauses with that laws that makes it okay. So when you're driving on the road, it gives you a speed limit that's at 35, right? But there are circumstances that it's okay to go above the speed limits, right? So there's always like every law is not just there. Um, it's just there to guide you because there are people who are going to abuse it, right? And I think when God said he hates divorce, he already knew our generation are going to abuse it. If God said, yeah, you can divorce, guess what? The whole the whole church, everybody would just find just any reason to divorce. But if you read further, there are guidelines and process and things in place. And for me, I feel like these example of having child outside while you're married, yeah, people can forgive. The Bible also said forgive 70 times 70. But then why, on other hand, he said if you kill, killed. Thou shalt not kill, but if you kill, killed. So those are clauses that are like you need to pray for full understanding. You need to pray for wisdom. You need to pray that God guides you in a way that you don't do and make the wrong moves. Because it can get very, very difficult in those little things. It's like, someone who's being abused constantly, 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 constantly. And then because they're in the church, every time they go to church, the pastor said, do not, the divorce rate in churches is so high. Do not divorce. Do not stay. Do not do this. Do not, if you leave your spouse, you're committing adultery. If you do it, if they're preaching that every time you go to church and you're hearing that, and you're not reading to get the full context and understanding of what that means, or what other steps can I take if I can strictly just get up and divorce, what are other steps you can separate, you can go somewhere safe that you both can try to work through the differences. And if you find out the way that you can get out, then you get out. But you can't just be there every time you come home. I'll give you guys another example too. Bye. Do y'all know who I'm talking about? The Nigerian musician who left his long relationship. He has a standing record having one or two children with somebody, leave them, had three here, lived them, and then his long-term marriage, left it, went to find peace. Now he's all over the internet where allegedly we're hearing his new wife is beating him. She's put him on a Durex, saying all these things on the internet. There's a lot of things going on with him, and his family is putting out a petition that his life is at risk because this woman is literally abusive, and she always drug him and do things to him, and he's afraid for his life and a whole lot of things, right? So if you're someone in that type of toxic relationship and you're sitting there and saying, well, God hates divorce, well, God does not like ignorant people. I hate to tell you, he does not, because you need to be informed. and you're not taking the proper steps, like he said, lack of knowledge, lack of knowledge, my people perish. Do you know what I mean when they say perish? Do you know what perish means? Like, if you refuse to learn and understand things for yourself, you are going to die. Okay? You're going to die. So, you need to be informed. You need to make sure you are informed and you learn and understand things from where they're supposed to be and where it apply to your life. So, there is no excuse for you to say, I don't know, when you have it all at your disposal. Like, you have all the information you can possibly get. It's not like back in the days. Now, you have a phone. If you have a phone, you have every answer you possibly can. You can't say, I don't know the Bible verse. Go to Google. What Bible verse tells me da 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 da, da, and it will spit it out for you. Okay? Learn that. There is no excuse for you to perish for the lack of knowledge when knowledge is surrounding you everywhere. Okay? I know Pastor Sam, Pastor Charles, you wanted to join. I, I I pasted the link in the comment section. You just click on it and it should get you up here. We're probably about to close. So when staying becomes harmful, we talk about that. Abuse, emotional, physical, spiritual, chronic toxicity. You know what chronic mean? The one I just described to you, where this man is being beaten at all angle. That's chronic toxicity. Repeated betrayal with no repentance. So imagine you're married and okay, let me use myself as an example. I feel like, yeah, you're blessed to have me. So guess what? I'll keep cheating on you every time you come to me and tell me, oh, I'm sorry. And then when you turn your back, I'm like, yeah, whatever, I'm gonna do it again. And then come back and do the same thing, keep doing it, keep doing it. Please, if somebody's doing that to you, love yourself enough. Get out. I know on here, I always encourage you guys and say, I am a pro marriage. Like, I think marriage is one of the most beautiful things that God could have ever designed for mankind. But it's also one of the worst things that mankind could ever involve themselves in. And if you are not careful, you will die before your time. I know I say these things and it's like, how do you just say it like that with straight face? But it's true. If you're not careful, marriage is one of the beautiful things. You know, I love, 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 love. I love when I see two people like on the same page, they understand each other. And something that really tickles me is when I see young people that know what they want. Because I know I was one of the young people, and I still am young, you guys, that know what I want. I want it, and I went for it, and I got it, and I'm happy. You know, if you know what you want, it's one of the biggest and best thing you can ever do for your entire life. You need to be content with what you have. You need to know what you have, and you need to know the importance of what you have. And if you don't know it, you'll be everywhere looking for things that doesn't even concern you. So it's something that I really, really enjoy and I love when I watch, you know, like I see people that was one of my age, like 26, 25, and they're like in this really nice and healthy relationship. Like it's something that's very, 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 very soothing for me. Like I love it. Even when I see older people that are married and I see they're holding each other hand and they're laughing and just walking, like it does something for me. It makes me feel so good. But if you don't choose right, I mean wisely, it's hard to choose right anyways. If you don't choose wisely, you will die before your time. If you're not content with what you have and work with what you have, you are going to die before your time. So it's one of the most beautiful things that's designed, but it's one of the worst things that you would ever partake in. Just saying, just saying. Okay, I don't know it all. I'm not a relationship expert, but I'm just telling you based on self knowledge and things I have experienced myself. Um, Second to the last thing we're going to discuss is the true nobody talks about. Kids don't need married parents. Do you know that? Your kids could care less if you're married or not. All they want an adult that will show them the right way, care for them, and love them. And this is not to put shame on marriage because I just told you how lovely I love marriage. This is in the sense of you know it's not working. You can't even have conversation with each other without like swearing at each other. You can't even be present with each other. There is no example design of what a relationship should look like, meaning love, kindness, respect, and just being there for each other, sacrificing for each other. Like that's what kids actually want. As a child, that's all I care about. Even if my dad live in Jerusalem, does he care about me? Is he aware and know what I'm doing? Is he showing me kindness, compassion, and things like that? That's what is very important. You can choose to be married till Jesus comes, and if you're not doing all of these for each other and towards each other, your kids have zero respect. We've seen it. Like we see it in videos all the time. You'll hear half of the broken story that we hear a lot. And I'm not throwing shades at these people, but I'm just telling you, if we really pay attention to our surroundings, most of the kids that you see will come online, you hear, oh, this person is a drug dealer, this person is this person is that, this person is doing that. They will never tell you, oh, my parents didn't stay married. What did it tell you? I didn't have someone who cared. They will say, well, my parents were not married, but my dad never came around for me. My mom never came around. I had no one to take me to practice. They need stability and understanding. That's all kids want. All these things we do, buying all this expensive stuff, and I know during the holiday, that's why everybody's about to display their love. Oh, let's buy the biggest gift that kids could possibly get. Let's buy this other one that they will, they don't care. They don't care about that. All they care about is the time you spend with each other, the time you invest in them. How did you treat each other? You know, some of the kids that you will hear, they'll say, I never heard, I met someone once in my life, and he said, for the entire time he'd ever been alive, he've never heard his parents have a fight. I was like, wow. He said he never witnessed. He said, yeah, they would be here and there. He could tell his mom not in a good mood, but whenever she saw them, she poke her face, dad poke her face. They fix it. But they never knew. And then later on, he said when he got older, when his dad told him things that were happening in the home, and then his sister too, mom told her, yeah, we argued. We had a huge argument while we broke up. He said, what? How did you guys do that? Because once you have children, it's not that you're hiding it from them, because I think kids should know, you're angry and things like that. They should just see displays of emotions, but it's the degree of that emotion you're showing. Because he knew people can get angry. Her mom was annoyed with his dad, but they were never like there face fighting like we see online, right? They were never there. Mom was never taking video and say, yeah, your dad cheated on me, and they's telling the children. That is none of those kids' business. That is a business between you and your spouse, and your deal with that, not for the kids to be all involved in it. Because I feel like it's just love, some type of respect for you as the mom and the dad. So I just feel like you shouldn't do that. Um let's go to the last thing. Anna, do you want to add anything?
I think everything you've said is right. People shouldn't stick in relationships because of children, and they should try to put themselves happy. And
Yeah.
just like you mentioned before, you know, everything you do, if you want your children to be raised right, you have to show them you have to be a positive role model in their lives, because once they see those negative aspects of you and your spouse's relationship, they will follow suit with such practices. So it's very advisable for people to continue to model positive relationships in front of their children and try to lead a good example. So I agree with everything you said. And I
Thank
have
you.
nothing different to say.
Okay. I know somebody wanted to join. I don't know, Pastor Charles. If you're watching, so we usually have the link, and
And
you
I'd
just
like
click
to
on.
add, I'd like to
Mhm.
add that people definitely should seek counseling in situations where they're having compatibility issues. Um,
Yeah,
seek professionals to assist, because sometimes having a third party into the relationship helps solve any issues that people may be encountering. A third party can help, do not confide in friends sometimes, because
yeah,
friends can mislead you. So having a professional who has an open mind and won't be biased is very helpful in
right.
resolving such marital differences. So
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Unless you have a very marriage man friend that I'm blessed to have. You hear me?
yes, I heard you. I mean, I think it's likewise.
Yeah,
Sometimes you have to find friends that you know for a fact and they don't have bad intentions for your relationship.
I agree.
Mm.
I agree.
Yeah, but generally, the best practice is to be with a neutral party, someone that doesn't know you or your spouse.
I agree. I agree. Something that I actually learned today is, I mean, I've been knowing this, but something I learned today, I was watching somebody else's show, and it was like, um, this person always went to a family member, I'm all for, like, if you have a family member that you feel cool with to talk to, but I think family don't forget, they do not forget. I had to learn this. Like, you cannot, I feel like if you're going to stay in that marriage, don't talk bad about your partner to your family member, or say the bad things that they do, because they would never forget. They will remind you every chance you get. But that doesn't mean when it is to a level that you need to confide in them, you don't talk to them. If that's the only person you have to talk to that can guide you, just kind of like be careful how you share those information. But if it's a toxic relationship, definitely, I would say definitely find a family member that you know will lead you to the right path to get help, and confide in them. Definitely. But I learned that today. Like, don't get family involved, you know, because they never forget. And then also, being friends with your in laws is cool and all, but you need to be very careful, because they will always have their brother or sister's best interests. I don't care how much you think they love you or whatsoever. They will always fight for that family, for their family member. So just know that.
That's true.
Um,
That's something I struggle with myself.
yeah. I mean, I had to. Literally, I feel like I experienced it, and I was like, yeah, Felicia, get yourself together. They will always have their back. They will like you, they love you, all in all, but family will always stick with each other. So just remember that. Um, final thought. So final thought, and I have a question. And I know a lot of people would be like, no, I'm not. But I want our audience, I want you to really just think in depth about your relationship tonight. Just sit and put it all in perspective and just reevaluate it. This is not to get a relationship in trouble, though, but this is just to evaluate yourself. Like Facebook has this thing called health check, right? They health check your page to see how healthy it is, meaning you're not posting inappropriate thing for the community and you're not doing whatsoever. And they always give you a report when you're considered a money when your page is monetized, like mine. They send you this thing and it will tell you, well, you have a healthy page, and it's a green light on your page when you log in. So I want all of us, including myself, to do a health check, a relationship health check, right? Let's health check and see how are you doing. Like, I just calculated how long we've been together, and I'm like, oh wow, we're almost at 10 years. Time flies. Time really, really flies, you guys. So as we were doing this topic is like, yeah, let's do a health check. And this is what we're going to do. Are you staying for your kids or avoiding a hard decision? If I can be honest with you guys, if you had asked me, because I did this before I came on the show, if you had asked me this question 3 years ago, I'll tell you I'm avoiding a hard decision because there was a time and place of where we were at that, to be honest with you, I did not see us where we're at right now. But that doesn't say, like, I think every relationship go through that moment where you self-doubt, and you go to that moment where you're having one of the most misunderstanding moments, and like you're not just seeing eye to eye. And I don't think those are reasons that people should say irreconcilable differences, because I feel like you have to think about it. You're two different people that are coming together, and you're trying to compromise to live together, and you have your way of doing things. Even people that are born from the same, you know, mom have those issues, right? Even twins that are born like maybe seconds or minutes apart have the same issue. What more is about you? Someone you had no idea, you did not know from the jump or whatever planet, and God brought it together. What makes you think it's going to be like so easy? It's not going to be easy. It's going to be, and then you have everything in the world against going up, right? That could even make that relationship crumble around you. What makes you think is going to be there? But I think one thing that I can say is the opportunity to sit down and really dig deep and talk and talk and talk and just go through, like, okay, what was the reason that we even got together? What was those things that brought us here? What are those shared goals that we had? What was those plans for our children that we had? Like, how do we, if God forbid, so this was a conversation we had where I said, if God forbid, I want you to think, and this is what I told my husband, God forbid if I die tonight. Yeah, it was so dramatic. If I died tonight, how do you think you and these kids' life would be? I feel like that's the hard truth everybody should think about. When you're fighting and talking and arguing about the unnecessary things or the necessary things, um, sit and just evaluate that individual in your life. And then I said, um, I'm asking myself the same question. God forbid we're laying in this bed in the morning, you don't wake up anymore. How would I live? How do I try to put myself in that moment? What would be how would our life be impacted? Like, yeah, we can say, okay, if you leave, this is what will happen. Da, 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 da. Okay. So what if that happened? And I want everybody that's doing this health check to do that about your spouse. How would it impact you? How would it impact your life? How would it change your life? It would change your life, but how would it change you as an individual? Will you live in regret? Would there be a moment that you'd be like, man, I wish we had another moment to talk about things? Would it be a moment where you're like, oh my God, my kids are without this other parent? Um, will you start thinking about, oh my God, I thought I had it worse, but man, you know, what would you be thinking about when that happens? Or if that happens? Because I said it on here before, when you're born as a baby, every time, all the time you have in this world, you were born with it. It starts to die down. Those time that clock start ticking to that final one. So if you have an opportunity and you have a partner that you're able to have a conversation and make it work, and they're willing and it's a safe space, try everything possible to make it work. Stop listening to this whole internet guru or the relationship or whatsoever, and just sit and be you and think in depth. How is your relationship fulfilling you? You. Only you know. I don't know. I know how my relationship working for me. I don't know about you, but I know you know that answer. So that's where I'm going to leave at that at tonight. I'll let you guys go think about that. Let me know how would it affect you. And based on that, it should tell you if irreconcilable differences is what you need based on everything else we've discussed tonight. And if it's what you need, make the decision. Stop hanging on to it. Make it. My mom always says, my mom is very practical. She's not a woman that really talks too much. She's very direct. She says one thing and she's done. And I feel like my son is like that. I call him man of one word. He'll say something and he's done with it. And he's just gone by business. And you'll be trying to figure out, like, why did he say that? He's done with that. You ask him another question and he's not answering you. And then he'll come back and tell you something else. So my mom always says, you don't, everybody says, the importance. She said, don't think you're the only factor to someone's life for their existence. So powerful. She said, if you think somebody will not survive, disappear. Just disappear and see how they make it. Because God always put people in places for things. And I think my mom said this to me during the time she was going through some tough times, and I was feeling so bad that I couldn't really like help in that moment. And she said, "Don't worry, God always figure things out." And she gave me that little parables and said, "If you think someone will not survive because of your existence, disappear and see what happened." So, meaning I share this because if you think your spouse will not survive because you're there, think again, think twice. So, I want to leave you guys with that. I know we started the show a little bit later than we're supposed to start. You guys, it's the holiday season, and I'm getting my feedback into the whole life. So a lot been going on, but it's been a pleasure having these little conversation with you guys. Um, I want to say thank you to everybody who joined. Thank you for following. Joseph, is it Joseph Sacker? How do you say your name? I'm sorry if I butcher it. Um, Thank you for following. Thank you, each and every one of you guys, for watching and staying along with us. I know I haven't been really present the past 2 weeks online. Just had some few things going on. I told you guys I always disappeared in my little corner, but I'll probably be active again online constantly during the week, maybe, next week or so, depending on how my week goes. But definitely, thank you guys for always tuning in and supporting us. Again, these conversation we have it for each and every one of us, for myself and for everybody who's watching. Also, I want to say thank you, Salome, for tuning in, and thank you, Pastor Charles. I'm so sorry you couldn't join in. Typically, I have the link pinned in the comment section. You can click on it and just join. I'm sorry if you have some issues with that. And then Andrew, thank you so much for, gracing the page. I know it's a little bit busy with your work schedule these days, but thank you for coming on. Sorry, Richmond, you couldn't stay on. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's the internet, but definitely miss you on here tonight. Thank you, Anna, for always being on,
You're
supportive, and
welcome.
yeah, thank you for the topic. It was a really good one. Um, and then Jimmy. Jimmy was so tired, I could tell. Want to say thank you so much for coming on and getting this topic started, and then getting me all routed up. Whoever that guy is, oh my God, he's an angel for forgiving that lady and taking on the responsibility. But I hope he's wise and he pay attention, because my spirit just tell me that that lady and that guy still have a secret relationship going on. I'm sorry. I know I'm being messy right now, but I'm just being honest. My spirit is telling me that. And it is what it is. Whatever. That's not my family matter, but I'm just saying. But yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for all your support and all your help and everything you continue to do to keep the show going. That is it for tonight. We'll see you guys at another time on here tomorrow. Hopefully, we have another really good topic like this tomorrow. Y'all have a blessed night, and thank you for those, you know, outside of Liberia that's, still following and watching at this time of the night. Uh, Thank you. Y'all, bye bye. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm trying to turn this thing. Hey, I almost dropped it. All right, you guys have a blessed night, okay? Or good morning. It won't go.